If not, we can come back. All right. Welcome back, Marissa. Sandra. Hi, how are you? Oh, Marissa, I see you. Welcome back.
Hi, I'd have to say travel.
Awesome. Thank you. And Sandra.
Good afternoon or good morning. Um, I have found that since I've started teaching at the Operation Red Wings retreats, my soul sings the whole time that I'm there because I see these broken veterans and there's a shift by the time they leave. There's such a change in them. And knowing that I'm part of that change, that's like having a superpower.
Beautiful analogy. Thank you. Kristen. Hi, Kristen.
Hi. I would have to say for me, in the last 6 months since I retired, is taking time out for some self-care, whether it's just taking a nap in the middle of the day or sitting and reading quietly or doing a little yoga myself. Just taking time out for me, which I haven't done a lot, that really lights me up right now.
Amazing. Thank you, Kristen. Sai Krishna. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Hope everyone is doing fantastic as well. So every day morning, so there is no one thing that excites me. There are multiple things that light me up. And one of the most important thing is every day morning when I get onto my yoga mat, that lights me up once I finish my practice. Definitely not going through the practice. Once I finish the practice, I light up and I spread joy around the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Jennifer. We are asking, let me pull it up. What activities or endeavors light you up most?
Well, so a lot of what everybody's already said. I just got back from a women's yoga retreat in the Rockies. We climbed two 14ers, 21 women, and I did my first two cold plunges in the freezing cold Colorado River, and that lit something up.
Thanks, Jen. That's amazing. Deb. Hi, Deb.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I resonate with so much what everyone said, but I'm going to say what's lighting me up now more than ever is getting a chance to spend time with my grandchildren, which live in Ireland. So I have to travel, which I love to do. So I'm going to travel to Ireland to go visit my grandchildren. And that's lighting me up and giving me so much joy. So that's what I'm going to share for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deb. Elise. Hi, Elise. Are you there? Elise Dalton.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi. What lights up my life? Being in a position where I can do some relaxation and self-care, as well as only being 2 miles from my granddaughter. So I get to see her more frequently. And situations like yesterday when I had only one show up to class, but boy, howdy, was he into it. And he went from totally stressed down. And he loved the class. So that pretty much covers it.
Awesome. Thank you. Tommy, I see your hand and you were actually next, so go for it. Oh, go ahead and unmute. Oh, we can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes, Lima Charlie.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so what lights me up? I am excited to take the Veterans Yoga Project on the road show So I'm in Idaho, and I'm going all the way north, almost to Canada, and working our way back down. And we're stopping at all the yoga studios and vet centers. I'm going to try to cross-pollinate them and to and get some buzz going for Idaho and the veterans. So it's been a long time planning, and it's now finally coming to fruition starting tomorrow.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Tommy. Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi. You can see, so anything outside, and doesn't matter whether it's with our family or alone, both activities, all seasons, you name it, I'm there. I'm for it.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Calvin. Hi, Calvin.
Hey everyone. Yeah, I mean, I love that I've heard everyone say kind of like really simple things that just light them up. That makes kind of lights me up. But I would say definitely at this point in my life, spending time with my family lights me up, and eating good food. I love a good meal.
Thanks, Calvin. Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, everybody. What lights me up is my family, especially my 5 grandchildren, which is growing with number 6 due in a couple of weeks. So that's they're just amazing. And anything on the water, any water, lakes, oceans, rivers, doesn't matter. I love being on the water and serving at a community level where I know our contributions sometimes, can go unseen, but I love creating community programs as I'm in the midst of doing a new one. And nothing feels better than knowing that, we get one person to move or breathe a little differently, whether that's a room full of veterans or a room full of people who are getting on in their years. Those are all things I hold very dear, and I am grateful for every day. So thanks.
Thank you, Nancy. Clarissa. Hi, Clarissa.
Hi. I'm driving, but I will answer quickly. I love at the end of Yoga Nidra at night when nobody signs out. And so that tells me that they're all sleeping. And so I'm smiling from ear to ear, and that just makes me so happy. That and Long Beach Island, New Jersey, if I could spend my day with my toes in the sand at the ocean, I'm very happy, or in the woods. So love you all. Gotta go. I have chair yoga with my American Legion guys. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Clarissa. And Alex.
Me?
Yes, you.
What's been really lighting me up lately is my grandmother. I just got back in town from getting to help my family nurse her back to health after a few falls and moving her into an assisted living facility. And it's been an honor to be able to help take care of her as she gets to the end of her journey. So.
Thank you. And this is definitely what brings me joy as a virtual organization, right? It's hard. We don't always get to see each other or spend time together. So being able to share space with all of you and just be here with all of you is such a beautiful reminder as to why we do this work. So thank you. Did I miss anybody? Okay, awesome. I want to make sure you're all heard. Okay. So I will go ahead and share my screen. All right, can you guys see my screen okay? Awesome, okay. So a couple things to note. Pardon me, I do have two screens, so you might see me go sort of back and forth, but I'm just adjusting so I can see all of you. Okay, so we are all here today for our Q3 all hands muster. So we will have these once a quarter, each year or each quarter, just so we can go over what's happened in the previous quarter and give you an update as to where we are as an organization and what you can look forward to in the coming months. If you have questions as we go through the presentation, please ask. You can type them in the chat or raise your hand. I really would love to make sure that you're all heard and your questions are heard and answered. So please don't be afraid to ask anything as it comes up. Here's our outline for today. We did our welcome and arrival. We just did our breakout session. We just hung out together, so that was perfect. We'll go through our organizational updates, any questions and answers you might have, and then we'll take a few minutes to wrap up and we'll conclude our time together. These slides and this recording will go out to everyone who has registered. So don't worry about taking too many notes or too many screenshots or anything like that, because you will get a copy of all of these. So here's your headquarters team. And here are your board members. Everyone's email will be at the end of the slide presentation as well. So you'll have a copy of everyone's email. The only board email that's on there is Jamie, our board president. He is not here today. However, his email is on there. And if there's a particular board member that you have a question about, let me know and I'm happy to connect you with them as well. Our mission. So before I state our mission, does anyone remember what our mission is? I may or may not have already said it, but if you know it, go for it.
Our mission is to provide, teach yoga to the subtle aspects of yoga to the military veterans and their family members, and also all the first responders, and bring the joy into their
very
family.
close. Very close. Good effort.
Support recovery and resilience in our veteran service members, veteran service members, caregivers in their whole community.
That's close, Molly. To support the recovery and resilience of our veterans, military families, and communities. So this is the mission. So as you guys may or may not know, in early May, we were headlined in a VA newsletter. So the VA sends out a newsletter every Wednesday, and we were headlined in that newsletter. That newsletter massively increased our awareness, and we received thousands of veterans, or we had thousands of veterans join our classes, both in person and online. We received hundreds of inquiries about classes. And our online class through the Wellness Living platform has the option for participants to leave feedback. So this feedback, Slow Stretch with Karen Schneider, substituting today, was incredibly relaxing. Karen has a unique way of staying connected with each of us in the class as she guides us through the various postures. She instructs us in a lighthearted manner and even sometimes funny, while encouraging us to persevere. My chronic post-CVA pain was reduced from a 6 on the pain scale to a 2 by the time we reached the end of the practice today. My range of motion is always extended after any yoga class with Karen. She is one of several Veterans Yoga Project teachers who make the practices both fulfilling and fun. So this, while our mission may be very short, 10, 12 words, this speaks to our mission and why we do what we do. And our mission, vision, and our values are also stated in our slide presentation. So with that, the first thing we'll talk about today is our programs. So I would like to turn the mic over to Alexandra, our Chief of Training Programs, to talk a little bit about what we have going on in programs.
Hey, y'all. So here's a little bit of a wrap up of what's happened and what's going to happen in the programs department. Thank you. So we currently have a couple open volunteer positions in programs department. So if anyone's interested in being onboarded as part of the team, let me know. I need like an MRT program manager, someone to help with credentialing and things like that. These positions are listed on the volunteer website. So if you're interested, let me know. So far this year, we've had 6 MRTs and we have 5 more to go. One of them is this weekend in Colorado Springs with Val Brainerd, and actually Brian Garrison is flying in to lead that. And I think Christine from the board will be there, and Colin from our MRYTT last year will be there for a few days. So that's going to be really fun. And we, as of today, only have 64 days left before this year's 200-hour yoga teacher training graduates, which is super weird because I feel like we've been working on it forever, and it like, has it started? I'm not sure. Yeah, we're in the middle. We're over halfway through and they'll be done soon. So thank you to all of you who are mentors, and to those folks who have been offering support and even teaching. Some of you are on the faculty, I know. So much appreciation for all of you, for all your help. Will you please go to the next slide? Thank you. Yeah, perfect. So we have started looking at MRTs for next year. Now is the time when we start planning for 2024, at least the first quarter or first half of it. So don't forget that earlier this year, we created a one-pager to kind of help you who are in state leadership or who are interested in your towns and bringing an MRT to your area. What are we looking for? How do you schedule one? What's the process here? It's all in that MRT Host Studio one-pager. You can click the link, it'll take you right to it. It's also available in your resources portal on the website. You can download it, and it's really pretty, so you can actually give it to, oh, look, Krishna, you're in that picture, yeah. You can give it to studio owners too, and it's like a pretty thing you can give them to help them decide. All you have to do, though, if they meet all the qualifications, is put them in contact with me, and I'll take it from there. It's super easy. Let me know if you're in, especially if you're in one of the states with really high potential. I've listed some of them there with the help of Monica and our regional director, but that doesn't mean that your state doesn't deserve, or we don't want an MRT in your area. But especially if you are in one of these states, we're very interested in having one in one of those. So let me know. Next slide, please. Thank you. It's weird telling you what to do. So here's what's happening in quarter 3 and 4, at least the things that I'm working on and aware of. So we have the MRT this weekend. Steve Buchanan will be coming in. The link isn't hyperlinked yet, excuse me, but it will be soon, and you'll have access to that even after I edit it. For the CES event, then we'll have a couple more MRTs, like I mentioned. Georgia Gerard will be back in September, which is the month of suicide awareness for the annual SAVE training, which is suicide awareness and prevention techniques. And she's with the VA in Colorado. It's always really great to see her. And y'all, if you come, make sure you congratulate her, because after you saw her last year, she's had twins and everyone's super healthy and they're all doing really well. So we're excited to have her back. Priya will be coming in later this year, and we'll also have an all hands muster later this year. So let me know if you have CES presenters, subject matter experts that you want to have come in next year for your CES events, and I'll also be planning those over the next couple months. Yeah, now you can go to the next one. Thanks. So here's a couple changes that have been happening. I know last time we had an all hands, or maybe it wasn't an all hands, it was just kind of like maybe it was an HR meeting, but we have started some changes within the MRT pricing and scholarship policies. That's more in congruence with making sure that, VYP isn't like bleeding money, and making sure that it's appropriately adjusted. I don't think the prices have raised in 11 years since we were founded, and that obviously needed to change. So We have tiered it a little differently. Now, instead of registering at one price, you have the option to either register at cost or to register at cost plus a little bit of a donation that will go towards aiding with scholarships for veterans that go through our programs. And the scholarship tiers have changed a little bit too, but scholarships are still available to veterans who want to come to the programs. They still apply the same way. We just are monitoring the number of them a little more closely to make sure there's not too many per training. And the pricing there has changed as well, but they still get half off of the training. That way we're not losing any money, we're not making any money. It's just kind of like breaking even. We also have been doing accessibility updates to the 200-hour program. It is now vision accessible, so better for veterans who have vision loss or impairment. And that's been with the amazing Dana Drea, who graduated from our 200-hour program last year. She's incredible, and her work is like going to be helping so many veterans from now on. I'm really honored to be working with her on that. We're already planning VGW, Veterans Gratitude Week, next year. The team is meeting weekly with that. So keep in mind, all of you who normally like to volunteer for that, that I'll still need a yoga class for each branch for each day of Veterans Gratitude Week, which technically is normally longer than a week. It's normally like a week and a few days. So if you're one of those teachers that likes to volunteer, look out for something from me recruiting you probably in the next month or two. It's not urgent, but just plant the seed in the back of your mind that that's coming up. I'm also working with Toya on a comprehensive DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion training. I think there's slides later about that, so I won't talk to that. Like I mentioned before, recruiting some managers and working with developing the studio affiliate program, which is still moving forward. So that's it for me. My email is alexandra.cordell@veteransyogaproject.org. So of course, as usual, anything you need in my department or anything else, if I can't answer it, I'll point you in the right direction. So thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Alex. Yes, so we will talk a little bit more about the finances and why we adjusted the cost of the MRT in just a little bit. And we are working really closely with the Yoga Alliance as far as our RYS, our Registered Yoga School, being visually impaired accessible. So it's an initiative that we're all super excited to be a part of and super honored to be a part of. So thank you for all of your hard work, Alex. All right, Molly. Hi, Molly.
Hi, good morning, everybody. If you want to go to the next slide, we can start there. This is kind of our HR team and the update. The good news has been in the last quarter, I guess it's 2 quarters now, our HR team, volunteer team has expanded. So we've gotten a lot of help. So hopefully you guys are starting to see some of that filter out through the organization, but we do have our monthly HR open house. Any volunteers or anybody who wants to jump on and just hear what's going on or wants to provide feedback for what we can do better, we're listening and or we're here to help. So with that, how-to videos, right? Our onboarding process tends to be kind of laborious, and we're trying to streamline that and set up on Canvas for volunteers a little training module of videos that you would have access to. We're also really working, as we've had Brittany and Jamie come on, to help spread out, bringing the onboarding on and doing the data management for volunteer hours, getting them connected with the different departments. So we can kind of reach out and see what everybody does and help with the jobs. And now also we're on the executive call, so we can kind of have our ear to all that's coming to say, oh, we might need a volunteer for that. And like Alexandra said, volunteer jobs are up on the website. So if you looking on how you can get involved, or if you have a friend who's not a yogi but has a really good skill, we would love to bring them on board. Probably some of the key ones we're looking for right now, and I know Brianna will touch on it too, but a director of marketing, a website designer, WordPress developer, social media manager, and also area managers out in the states can really help our state directors kind of Tommy, it does my heart good to hear this road trip coming up, because, making those connections and just send them to our website if they want to get involved on, well, I can't do yoga, but I still believe in what you're doing and want to help veterans. There's a way. Of course, number one is always donate. Anyone who wants to volunteer with us could, if that's in their wheelhouse, they could donate. That would help. Or just look at the website and see how they want to connect. If they've got skills, data processing, somebody with some CRM, IT skills would really be a big help with our NEON management. One thing I do need from all the volunteers on this call is time to put in your volunteer hours. I know monthly we send out a little reminder to say, hey, please put your volunteer hours in. And I know we get overwhelmed, and I know life happens, and I know, oh, it's just a volunteer job. Oh, it's only an hour here. It's an hour. They don't really need it. And Calvin can probably speak a little more to this, but our volunteer hours help us write grants. If we show our volunteer, but we have to be able to show that. I have to be able to say that I've got a state director in Georgia doing 10 hours of work to talk to all of his teams. Maybe somewhere in Georgia, there's a grant we can get to help him along, things like that. So just putting in your hours really helps us reflect the true job you guys are doing out there. And I'm so grateful for all of you. And we're here to help if you need anything. And as you can look through our progress. So I just need you guys to start thinking about putting your hours in, because I know there's more going on out there. And May was very busy with Veterans Gratitude Week. And I know we all did a little bit and a little bit of our part, but put a reminder in your phone. The video Brianna put together is a great little tutorial. Reach out to myself or to Brianna or Brittany on my team, and we can help you in any way you want. And yeah, here it is on the slide even. Thank you, Bri. I think that's all I've got. If you
All right, sorry, had to find my thing to unmute. Awesome. Thank you so much, Molly. Yeah, the HR team does an amazing job on a daily basis, making sure that our volunteers have access to the platforms that they need, that they have the information that they need, and that they're being headed in the right direction. So we are working on streamlining our onboarding process so that as you come into the organization, you automatically have access to the platforms you need. But more importantly, I think, why we use the platforms we use, right? Like, what is Asana and why on earth do I need access to it? Or what is Neon and why on earth do I need to enter my hours here? So we're working on creating just those bite-sized pieces, those bite-sized videos that you can listen to or that you can watch, that will explain all of our various platforms, right? As a virtual organization, we rely completely on the internet, and we rely completely on these platforms that are available and accessible to us. And of course, right, nothing's ever that easy where they all just connect and, you can just go to one place and have everything be magically done. So we're working really hard on streamlining that process and creating a way to build awareness around all of the platforms that we use, so that you can just come right on in and you are at least familiar with the various platforms and how we as an organization use them, so that you can be successful in whatever position you happen to be serving, in whatever capacity you happen to be serving in the organization. And right, how you are fitting in to the organization, how your role supports our mission at large. So if you have questions, if you have suggestions about your own personal onboarding process or your own experience as a volunteer maybe a volunteer, maybe a contractor here with Veterans Yoga Project, please let us know. That's what's driving a lot of this change and a lot of this updating. So we really do want to hear from you, and we really do want to make this organization the best possible organization that it can be. So please don't be afraid to ever speak out and let us know what's going on and how we can improve. All right, Toya. Toya Moore is our Director of Equity and Inclusion, and she's working really hard behind the scenes on our DICE initiatives. A couple of things that she has working on is we are looking at streamlining all of our intake forms, all of our data collection forms, so that across all of the platforms, across all of the departments in the organization, we are collecting the same data, and the data that we're collecting is not just usable, but helpful for us to grow as an organization. She is also working on processes to train everybody on what it means for us to be an inclusive organization, and what languaging is important for us to use, and how can we continue to grow as an organization with regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're looking at training all of our MRT and MRYTT facilitators, as well as incorporating DICE initiatives into our training. So we're working really closely with our 200-hour team to ensure that our up-and-coming teachers have all of this information accessible to them as well. If you have questions, or if you would like to be a part of this initiative, please reach out to Toya. She's truly engaged, truly passionate about this work, and we're so fortunate that she's here and that she is taking this on and being a true leader in that regard. All right, finances and development. Amanda is not here at the moment. However, I would just like to take a moment to introduce our new Director of Development, Calvin Burton. Calvin, do you mind just taking a moment to introduce yourself, please?
Sure, yes. So I'm Calvin. I am the Director of Development here. I've been working in the nonprofit space for doing fundraising for a little over 9 years now. I'm a certified fundraising executive. And I am excited to be here and excited to, of course, this is my first all hands muster. So it's great to, be a part of this and meet everyone and get to just know a little bit more about your roles. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I love food, so I'm a foodie, and I've been working really closely with Bree to determine our fundraising approaches moving forward. So it's been a blast.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Calvin. Calvin's been with us for about 6 weeks now, and I'm so glad and honored that he's a part of the team. So as some of you may know, our finances this year are not what they have been in the past. Our income has been a little bit less, a lot less than what we've had in the past. Our revenue has been a lot less. So this is a 2022 to 2023 comparison. The blue is our 2022 revenue compared to the orange, which is our 2023 revenue. So when we have been looking at our finances as the year has moved along, we are keeping a really close eye on what our expenses are, what our income is, and how we can balance the two. So when we, in part of these conversations, right, this is why we made our updates to our MRT. The MRT, Alex mentioned, has never changed price. And that is very true. We have never adapted our MRT prices. So as COVID hit, we were able to flip everything online, and we were poised to do that, and it worked out really well. And after COVID, in this post-COVID world, travel is massively expensive, and there were a lot of expenses that I don't know if you guys have noticed, but things have just gone up. Prices have gone up across the board on a lot of things. So we put a pause on a lot of our in-person MRTs for this year. We have 2, I believe, in-person MRTs scheduled for the rest of the year. We have Colorado Springs this weekend, and then we have Maryland coming up in, I think, September, October. And the rest of our MRTs this year are all online. So what we did was we looked at our MRT pricing. We made adjustments as necessary. So our in-person MRTs, we are ready to schedule those again, but the prices will be a little bit higher. We did adjust those for just the cost of inflation, the cost of prices, everything going up. And our online MRT prices went up just a little bit, but not quite as much. So that is, that was one of the first steps that we took. One of the other steps that we had to do, unfortunately, was adjust our staff and adjust our headcount. So we are taking this very seriously, right? We are all here. So many of you said that you love this work and this work brings you joy. And we are doing everything we can to ensure that we can continue, right? To ensure that we can keep moving forward. So we're looking at our finances very seriously, and we're taking a lot of things, everything into consideration and into account. The other thing that we're working on very closely with is ramping up our donor engagement. Calvin has been incredibly helpful in that regard, as well as Deb. Deb has been spearheading our donor engagement process. And Calvin's been working really hard and really closely with Deb and I and Jamie, board president, in ensuring that we are connecting with our donors and we are reminding them of the amazing work that we do. The other thing that we're working very closely with is our community grant asks. So Walmart Cyber Grants. So many of you are state leadership and local teachers. There are a lot of community grants and community opportunities out there that help support the cost of the classes and teacher pay. We're also looking at national partnerships and national corporate sponsorships, especially as we come into Veterans Gratitude Week. So if you, let me go to my next slide. So there's a couple things that you can do to help. One is to become a monthly donor. So this year we have launched our Warrior Giving program. It is a program that you have the option to give on a monthly basis to support the organization. Anybody, not just you. I use the term you very lightly and very lovingly, to become a monthly warrior. The other thing that you can do, as Alex alluded to, is our Veterans Gratitude Week. So Veterans Gratitude Week is our largest annual fundraiser. This is our 10th VGW. Very excited about our 10th VGW. And Veterans Gratitude Week is just a little bit longer than a week, November 3rd to the 12th, wherein we ask all yoga teachers across the globe, really, to offer a donation-based yoga class. It does not have to be a VYP-based class. It can be any open or it can be any open yoga class. It does not need to be taught by a VYP teacher. So I'm sure all of you have at least 5 or 10 yoga teachers in your phone, in your Rolodex, at your studio, wherever you may be locally. Ask them, challenge them to teach a donation-based class as well. Our goal is 500 classes in all 50 states. We are very excited this year to be partnering with Lifetime Fitness as well as Yoga Fit. And there are some other partnerships that are coming down the pipeline, but we're very excited to be partnering with these yoga studios and these yoga companies. So if you know yoga teachers, if you know of yoga studios who would like to be a part of this initiative and be a part of this fundraising effort, please, please, please let them know, send them our way. We will be having all of our Veterans Gratitude Week information up. We're working very hard to have it up by the end of the month so we can start promoting and having our classes be registered. Yeah, Alex, go for it.
Yeah, we had in the chat a question, will there be guidance on how to recruit local corporate donors, who and how we can approach them and how they can donate and such?
Yes, amazing question, and we will absolutely work on that. Typically what we do is we have a VGW page on our website that is designated and dedicated, that's the word, dedicated to having all of those resources available for you. And as we get a little bit closer, we'll have an official launch with all of those details on how to reach out to local studios, how to reach out to local facilities, and what information is helpful. So yes, absolutely. Thank you, Alex. I know I breezed through our finance section, but does anyone have any questions about any of that? Okay, awesome. If you have questions, let me know. And shifting gears slightly, so Monica is off climbing a mountain as we speak. However, Monica is our COO, and I would like to welcome Dan Arnold as our new Director of Regions as well. So here's some new folks in the field operations and operations world. And here are all of your state leadership. You guys do amazing work. What I would like to take a moment to highlight, right, speaking to our mission, right, so this is the juice, right? This is why we do what we do, is the number of classes and the number of veterans and military families that we serve on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So here were our number of classes in comparison from last year to this year. And here are the number of visits from last year to this year. So there was a massive increase in May and June of our online classes. Like I said, that VA newsletter went out the first week of May. I think it was May 5th, 6th, whatever that first Wednesday was. And we saw a huge increase. There was one week where we had 997 participants in our classes in our wellness living. That number has gone down quite a bit. It's hovering around the 200, 300 mark. But even before that newsletter came out, we had less than 100 a week. So even still, even though the numbers have gone down quite a bit, we're still reaching a large number of veterans. What this told us, what that massive influx told us, was that this work is important and this work matters, and the veterans are looking for it. On average, we would have about, I don't remember the statistic, but maybe I think 100 or so clicks a day on our map, on our website, and that might not be correct. Although what is correct is that in one day, our map viewage went up to over 14,000 people. We're looking at our map trying to find classes. So I know there has been some frustration around getting our classes up to date and making sure that everything on the website is accurate and up to date and all of that. I can tell you that we're working on it. I know it's frustrating, right? You just want to promote your class and you want the information to be accurate. And believe me, we do too. With 14,000 people a day looking at our map. Again, that number's gone down a little bit. But we want that information to be as accurate as well. So Jessica, our Director of ITIS, and Monica are working really closely to get that all up to date, as well as improving the map system a little bit so it's a little easier to use and a little user-friendly. So, but anyway, these were our total visits for the first half of the year, and broken down by demographics: male veterans and active duty, female veterans and active duty, family members, other first responders, and then mental health clinicians. So this is broken down both in person and online. So the one thing that is not listed on here is our SoundCloud and YouTube watches and listens, but we'll have that listed in the annual report. So this is just wellness living. Any questions about our classes currently? And just as Molly put the ask out there to enter in your hours, your volunteer hours, if you are teaching, please make sure you enter in your teaching hours that are not wellness living. If you're already teaching on wellness living, we have those, so you don't have to enter that in. But your non-wellness living classes, please make sure you enter in your data. This is where we get that information from. This is how we're able to build this out, is from the information that you give us. So it's really, really important that we have that information. So please make sure you enter in your data. Yes, Gail.
Are they still watching the past videos on Facebook?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'd have to go and look. We closed that page down, but I do know the videos were saved. I just don't know where and how. So I'd have to find out. I'm going to take a note though, Gail, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, because I'll often refer them to go look at the media tab on Veterans Yoga Project Facebook if they want different types of additional stuff. And I always tell them, oh, go check out the Yoga Nidra that Alexandra does.
Gotcha. Great plug for your fellow VIP here. I love it. Facebook videos. Yeah, let me find out. That's a really great question, Gail. Thank you. All right. And last but not least, shifting into our partnerships. So we do have several corporate sponsors, or corporate partners rather, forgive me, that support our work. Operation Red Wings is the organization that Sandra, she's still on, yeah, that Sandra spoke to. They host retreats for veterans and couples as well, or at least they used to. And they are an amazing organization that we are proud to partner with. Their retreats are massively life-changing and remarkable. So we're quite honored to partner with them. You are welcome to look through here as well with a number of the partners that we have. Was it Sai that mentioned SVA? So SVA, Student Veterans of America, they have their upcoming summits.
Summit.
Yeah, their regional summits. I believe this is the first year they're doing it, and they have 5 or 6 across the country. And they asked us to teach a yoga class at their summit. So yay, that'll be exciting. Please report back at the next All Hands Muster and let us know how it goes.
Sure, definitely.
Awesome, thank you. And there are some of these Core Power Yoga, Lifetime Yoga 6. These were all studios that we worked with for VGW last week. So if you happen to have a yoga studio nearby that might be more than just in your area, that might be more of a yoga corporation, let us know, and we will absolutely connect with them and see if they're willing to partner with us for VGW this year. And that is it. So this is all of us. This is who we are. And again, you guys will get these slides. So just know that you'll have access to all of this information. And when we officially launch VGW for the year, you guys will be the first to know. So stay tuned. That'll be happening in the next couple of weeks. So I will stop sharing my screen. Okay. Oh, now I see all the chats. That's so weird. I couldn't see them before. Okay, great. Glad. Thank you for watching those, Alex. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns, observations about anything covered today, or maybe even anything not covered today?
Alexandra, I had one question about the MRTs. It doesn't necessarily have to be a yoga studio. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. Yeah, we've hosted them before in gyms and community centers, and really it comes down to the prospective reach to veterans in that area. And do they have the space and the gear on site to host us? it's all on that one pager, but typically we're looking for places that are close to bases, close to VAs and vet centers, close to other VSOs, in cities where there's larger veteran populations, larger yoga teacher populations. And the things we need on site are like, we need space for 25 to 35 people, including the VYP facilitation team. We need chairs and yoga mats and yoga blocks and straps and gear for all the people who come. And we also need AV equipment on site and things like that. So we get a lot of interest from places that are yoga studios, but they're too small. They say we only have space for like 15 or 18 people inside. And, you know, financially that doesn't make a lot of sense for us to go there. But if you talk to a studio or a location that is too small, but they really want to come to a training, also let me know, because in a bulk registration setting like that, where there's a lot of people coming, up until now, it's been our policy to offer a small discount to groups that want to register together, to maybe they can take an online training together and all come in person and just log on with one computer. And then there's, you know, 10 people in a room taking the training together, but it's online with other people around the country. We've done that before and it went really well. So don't think that if you talk to a studio and they don't have the amount of space, or if they're not a yoga studio, that we don't want to work with them. That's not true. Please keep talking to everyone and just send me their information, facilitate some kind of introduction via email, and I'll be happy to work with them however we can. Thanks for your question, Molly.
Any other questions?
I had one other comment. It's not necessarily a question, but for everybody who's on here, I think Gail, you reminded me, and it's something Frank, our board director for HR, always recommends is if you guys see news about VYP pop up on any of your social media, don't be afraid to share it, spread it, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it just continue to flood in our own personal way. Anything that you've seen come out, to share it in your network. Go to the Rolodex, like Galvin said, but I think today our Rolodex is a little more modern. So just, you know, if you don't mind sharing, it's caring. Thanks, guys.
Sharing is caring. And Alex, please don't be mad, but I need to add Capuchin's email to this. I'm so sorry. But
don't worry, everyone. Any changes she makes to the presentation, you will be able to see. Don't worry.
Okay. So what I am doing right now is I am adding Capuchin Hoiback. So she is our director of communication. And I will make sure her email is in here. Please, yes, great, Molly. Thank you so much for telling us that, or for sending out that little nugget. If you are featured in the news, if you're featured anywhere, please send it to us and we will make sure it gets put in the newsletter. We're adding a section called In the News, and it happens, right? At least once a month, there is a VYP teacher, family member, team member out there who is featured and highlighted in some capacity. And we would love to know that. We want to be able to share that information with everybody. So I'll add Capuchin's email in here so that when that does happen, please send it to her, send it to me, and we'll make sure that everybody knows about it. Okay. Any other questions, comments, observations? Does anyone have a mission moment that they would like to share? Kristen, I saw your hand.
Yeah,
go for it.
Just a quick story. I had a pretty elderly veteran coming to my classes. I have every Tuesday night class, and he'd been coming for about a month. And after a class a couple weeks ago, he told me that some mornings after class, he wakes up a little stiff and sore. He's a really big, tall, lanky guy. But he did also say that it was the first time in probably more than 10 years that he could feel the warm water on his back in the shower. Because he's had a lot of, I guess, neuropathy or something where he had a lot of numb areas on him. And since he's been taking the class, he said he can finally enjoy a shower because he feels that water again on his back. And that was everything. It was awesome. So, and he's brought a couple friends, so he's also helping us recruit. So that's great.
Kristen, that was wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Anything else? I feel like that's such a beautiful way to wrap up our time together. Gail, I see you off mute. Did you have something to add?
Yeah, my doctor, I had that surgery recently, and then he was saying, we want to get you back in shape so you can continue to do what you do for those veterans. I was like, wow, that was so cool.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay. So with all of that, I invite for you to bring your hands together at your heart. Lightly lift your heart to your hands. And from this space around your hands and heart, bring to mind one more thing that you are grateful for today. And please accept my very deepest gratitude to each of you for being here and being present, and for all of the amazing work that you do and the amazing light that you share and the amazing support of the recovery and resilience of our veterans, military families, and communities that you provide on a daily basis. It is an honor to serve alongside each of you. Thank you all so, so much. We'll be here if you have any other questions. Otherwise, take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.